So when you're drawing in perspective, you're going to want to start with your horizon line and your vanishing point. One point has 1, 2 has 2, 3 has 3. So with 1 point, your horizontal and your vertical lines are going to be pretty standard, and then the side is going to recede into that one vanishing point. 2 point, you're going to have two sides that recede, so it's like a corner, and only your vertical lines are going to be standard. And in 3 point, it's like you're looking downward or upward, as well as them receding into space. So none of your lines are going to be totally just up and down, side to side. They're going to all be going toward a vanishing point. Unless you're looking off into the distance and you can see all of the horizon, you're usually not going to see a vanishing point. So it's really just a drawing tool. So here I'm just drawing the same shapes without the drawing tool with the vanishing points. So here I'm just drawing some simple steps. They're in 1 point perspective, so I have my one vanishing point and I'm going in and laying in some of my vertical lines, so I remember that I'm not going to be taking those to a vanishing point at all. As it recedes in the distance, the steps are going to get closer together because they're not as easy for me to see, they're farther away, and it's all just going to recede back into space. As I keep adding steps, they're getting higher and they're actually going above the vanishing point, so the line is going to go down toward it instead of going up. And then I started laying in my horizontal lines because, again, those are not going to a vanishing point, and then taking them back each step. Each step is going to recede back, so I'm making sure those go back to the vanishing point, but the horizontal and the verticals are going to remain the same because it's only 1 point. So whenever you're shading, whether or not your lines are going to show, it's a really good practice to just make your lines describe your form, kind of like when we were doing contour drawing. So when I'm doing the side, I want to do vertical lines because the shape is going up and down, but I also want to do them back toward the vanishing point to really describe where that form is receding. For the 2 point example, I'm going to do a sketch of a carton of eggs. I lightly drew in the shape first so I could get an idea of where the vanishing point should be. So now I know, like, whatever line I'm drawing, it's going to be receding back into those two spaces. So even the bottom of the carton is going back into space, even though it's not a solid line. And the eggs, they're all going to line up on the top into that receding line. On the second row, I forgot about my other vanishing point, so they're a little bit out of register for right now, but then I go in here and readjust them so they fit into the grid now. Another thing to note is that these vanishing points are actually really far away from the item comparatively to the examples I did at the beginning. So just keep in mind that you might need to have a really wide sheet of paper or even two extensions on the side of your paper to really get the vanishing points in an accurate place. But you can just cut those off whenever you want to have a final drawing. And now I'm going in and erasing it out. So again, the vanishing point, all of the lines, they're just a drawing tool. So you really do want to erase them out when you don't need them. So my next example is going to be the standard, really simple cityscape, like the corner of a street. And I use this example not to say don't do this, but to say don't stop here. These are really good bones of a drawing and like a good starting point, but you really need to add details and little flourishes that really describe the form more so than just these rectangular prisms receding into space. The vanishing points are also pretty close to the center for how we would normally see a city corner, so you really want to make sure they're far enough out. This last example is going to be just a time lapse of me drawing another city corner, but a little bit more detailed with the vanishing points spread a little bit farther out. So it looks a little bit more how we would normally see it in just daily life.